Welcome to our video devotions. Yesterday we asked the hard question, why pray if God's sovereign and He's going to do what He's going to do anyway? I did a great job answering that question for you.
Exceptional.
And today we're going to answer the second question, and that is, what keeps, is that what it is? Yeah. What keeps my prayers from being answered? What's great about this question is that the answer is very clearly written in God's Word. And it actually comes out of James chapter 4, verses 2 through 4. And this is what you read in God's Word in James 4. You do not have because you do not ask. So our prayers are not answered because we're not praying. Oh. It's hard to get an answer to what you're not asking for. You do not have because you do not ask. And then he goes on to say, you ask and do not receive because you ask with wrong motives. And then he defines what a wrong motive is, and that is that you may spend it on your pleasures or on worldly things. So the answer to that question, what keeps my prayers from being answered, is you don't ask. And then the second is, when you ask, you may be asking with wrong motives. However, sometimes our prayers are not answered, and that's because, well, I guess they are answered. They're just not answered the way we want them to be. God actually knows how to tell His children no.
Yeah.
And Tom's going to share with you a time in his life where I'm very glad that God told him no.
Leanne's referring to when I was in school at Belmont University. I dated a girl my senior year named Kay. And we were very serious in our dating relationship. But the summer before I went to Southwestern Seminary in Fort Worth, Kay broke up with me, and it really broke my heart because I thought we had a future, perhaps even marriage in our future with Kay and me. The fall of 1985, Leanne and I met early in the fall. We began to date. But at Thanksgiving in November, Kay was coming from Nashville to her family's house, her parents' house in Shreveport, Louisiana, and I just needed to go over there and find out for sure about if there would be any future with me and Kay, because I felt in my heart I loved her. And I had prayed for our relationship, and I thought we had a future together. I'd already met Leanne, and she wasn't terrifically happy about me going.
I thought he was going to say I wasn't terrific.
Sorry.
I just wasn't I wasn't terrifically happy about you going to Shreveport.
We're not editing this, so we need to move ahead. So anyway, I got to Shreveport. Long story short, the weekend was a bust, I guess. Kay did not want me, and it really hurt me. And that's a prayer, I guess, answered in a way I sure didn't like. Well, the morning I was leaving to come back to Fort Worth, her dad came in and he said, I don't know why Kay's not interested in your relationship or a future with you. And he said, I'm so very sorry. Then he pulled out from behind his back and he handed me a blue dress shirt still in the plastic from the department store. It was like, Tom, my daughter doesn't want you, but here's a consolation prize. I guess he thought if I was a young preacher at seminary, I needed a preaching shirt. Now, if you look back from here to there, you think, oh God, thank you for not answering that prayer, because if you want to talk about ladies, and ladies that I really love, you got Kay down here and you got Leanne way up here. God knew I needed who Leanne was and what she would make me to become because of our partnership in life and family and ministry. So when God doesn't answer the prayer that you pray the way you want it to be answered, remember it's because God probably has something so much better for you in the future than what you think could be there. Kay down here, Leanne way up here, off of the video.
Way up there, off the charts. So there's two things, the two things that we want to encourage you to do today are to identify an unanswered prayer. That probably won't be hard. You already have in your mind, in your heart, something that you've been asking that God hasn't answered yet. So identify that unanswered prayer, and then ask yourself these two questions. Have I really talked to God about this, or have I just talked about talking to God about this? A lot of times we just say, we're going to pray about that, but we don't really take the time to do it.
That's true.
And then the second is, what are my motives regarding this prayer? Are they rooted in worldly things, or are they rooted in eternal things? So what's driving me in this prayer? And once you answer those questions, then go ahead and pray for that unanswered prayer again, and trust God with whatever way He chooses to answer.